Guys, I am super excited today because I get to show you my sister's balcony garden. And you'll see that you can use a small space and you can grow flowers and food. We'll also show you some ways that you have an advantage in having a balcony garden. And if this is your first time here, my name is Marlene. Welcome to my home and garden channel. Now let's get to touring. So this is how she had it last spring. And you can see it's just so calming, welcoming, and I just love the way it looked last year. And of course, we'll take a look at what it looks like this year in a moment. But let's just go through and see some of what she did here. Of course, we'll take a look at, the things to beautify the balcony as well. The sign that she has there. Very nice wreath for the door, very seasonal with the butterflies. And I think it looks so, so nice. So let's take a look at some of the flowers that she had. And by the way, last spring into summer, she mostly had flowers. I'd say maybe about 95%. This year's a little bit different. But let's take a look at the flowers that she had. She had some petunias right there, some pink and white ones. And she also had to the right of that some gladiolus. Absolutely beautiful. And then there were some begonias there as well in that metal container right there. Some pansies down below. And it just looks so wonderful. And then over here, she had a lemon tree that she actually planted from seed. Isn't that awesome? So coming over to this year now, she has a pineapple plant out here. And this one is about 2.5 years old. So we'll see maybe if we'll get any pineapples this year. I should say she'll get a pineapple this year. We will see. But if not, we'll wait until the next year because she does take it inside for the winter. And that kind of slows down the whole maturity process. So we'll see how it goes. But what amazes me over here is this West Indian yam, or it may be yellow or white yam. I'm not sure which kind it is. We'll have to figure it out when the harvest time comes. But it just looks so nice and healthy. And look what it's doing here, guys. It is wrapping around the rails all by itself. She didn't, coax it over there or anything. No trellis needed in this case. And then to the left of it, you're seeing some tomatoes and peppers that are just coming up. And then over here we have malanga. We also call it cocoa in Jamaica. It's in the same family as elephant ears. You can see it looks very similar. You can see how large the leaves are. It's just absolutely wonderful to see. Most interesting part about it, though, is that when the leaves dry down, you get to eat the root that's down there. So this is some that's being sold in the international market. So if you ever wanted to try them, the name is malanga or coke, as we call it in Jamaica. And it's basically like a potato. You basically just peel it off. And then you boil it, you can mash it, you can make, you can do whatever you like it, as you would for potatoes and enjoy it that way. They come in different shapes and different sizes depending on, the type that you're getting. And you can see how the prices are going for them per pound depending on the type that you have. And it's kind of similar to a sweet potato, I would say. And they're both very good for you. Over here now we have some more tomatoes and she has them in different stages. So that's kind of like succession planting, I guess, in a sense. And I just love the fact that everything she has out here is either from seeds or from kitchen scraps, which I think is just absolutely excellent. So she has a sweet pepper right there, I should say bell pepper, and more tomatoes. This one's a little further ahead, so it has some blossoms right over there. And you can see that she's using grow bags right there, which is a very good choice, especially for your vegetables. And some more peppers right here. Some of those may be habanero peppers, but we will see. And she has some zinnias. And I always say if you can't get any other flower, at least get some zinnias because it helps to bring the pollinators in. And that's a little ladybug, cute little hanger on right there from the dollar store. Speaking of that, these are some dollar store stackable containers right here, which is using strictly for herbs. So she has cilantro and she has basil and she also has some oregano in there. And of course, she's going to thin them out so that they can, perk up and come to their fullness. And I'll link this one. This is not a dollar store one. This is one that's available on Amazon. Goes a little bit higher up. You can stack it higher up and they're deeper. So if you wanted to get any of those, you can check out the description box and it will be down there. You can get it from there. So we're looking forward to those peppers right there as well. And then moving along, this is another surprise here. And it's West Indian pumpkin or calabaza, some people call it. And I am just so super excited to see what's going to happen with this pumpkin, honestly, because I've never seen them grown from a pot over here before. I have grown like this one. This is the largest one that I ever grew in my garden, which is a flower bed. And it ran in the backyard, so I was expecting that. But this is just looking so healthy and so nice. So I cannot wait to see what it's going to do for her. Very excited about that. In the same pot, she actually has the same lemon tree. So she had just put the seeds in there from kitchen scraps, and there you go. Over here, now this was from a 1 pack of beans, green beans. So there are nine little plants in there. And she formed that kind of like a, that triangular trellis type. And it's going to be running along those. And based on how it looks, it's going to be bearing very, very soon, I could tell, bearing fruit. And over here, she has the tomatoes, like grape type tomatoes, and they are ready to be harvested, which we'll be doing further down in the video. And I just think it's just so wonderful to be able to come out, and harvest your own fruits, you grow your own veggies, and they always taste so much better when you grow them yourself. And so she has lots of tomatoes coming, which basically she can always, freeze them, which I'm sure she will for future dates. And you can see that some are ripening and some are also just coming in. More blossoms and more younger fruit coming in. So that is just wonderful. So if you love tomatoes, they love the heat. Make sure it's in an area that you have some sun, because they do like to have warmer weather. So if you have a full shaded balcony, that might not be the best crop for you. And just to say that if you wanted to get more of my gardening topics, tips, and tours, be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell twice so you never miss an upload. And there's some more, that little bunch of them right there, which we're so, so excited about. So moving along over here now, she has some flowers on here. You can see she has the begonias in that pot. And that's a mystery plant. We're not sure what it is. If you have any ideas, you can let us know. Something suggested spearmint, but I was like, this does not smell like mint, so I know it isn't. And at the top there, she has some zinnias as well, different colors. And I think it just all comes together so, so well. And over here, she changed the additions that she had put into the wreath to give them more summer-like look. And I think that works perfectly well. And it just ties the whole thing together, because you want to have a nice calming space. And that's a step stool that her son made, and it gives you a vertical interest, as does the hanging baskets right here. So that's another good thing to do too. Hanging baskets. You can hang tomatoes up there if you want, like the topsy-turvy ones, or you can hang flowers. She has her hummingbird feeder right there, and they do come once you've figured out that it's there. It may take a few days for them to figure it out, but once they have, they keep coming. And sometimes they actually fight over it. And here's a little birdie right here looking in the window. So, wildlife does come over too, but the good ones, So they do come, and he's looking in, trying to get inside. And eventually he flew away because he realized that he wasn't able to get in. So now it's time for the harvesting. She's going in and picking the tomatoes. And she told me that these were so nice and so juicy for her salad. So next harvest that she has, of course, I'm going to be going over to get some, because I have tomatoes, but I don't think any of mine are like that. She gave me one of hers, and I planted a few for myself, and I bought just one this year. You saw me my garden in a previous video. So look at this, guys. Very, very nice harvest. The first one to start. And speaking of harvest, this is what we did last fall. I was over here harvesting these for her. This is our ginger. She grew ginger. So just to show you, it can grow ginger in containers. These were kind of like, and this is again is just kitchen straps, little parts of ginger that were left over. She just buried them in there, but she had put, I think it's maybe a little dense in this case, just to say. So in the future, we'll basically go ahead and have them, spaced out a little bit more, but nevertheless, it still did very, very well. And, as you can see, I'm there trying to get it out of the container. So eventually I had to just put it on the sides and just, kind of like roll it and press it. And that seemed to have done the job. So if that ever happens to you, that's an option that you have. Turn the container sideways if it's plastic, and you can just ease it out like I'm doing here. And the root system looks pretty good. It's not root bound or anything. So it's just that they're very healthy and very thick together. So take a look at it, guys. That's what they were looking like. So yes, you can grow your own ginger. And I even, I washed the leaves off, and I actually used those as well too. I boiled them and I had them as tea. And so we used pretty much everything from there. Now, one of the benefits, I will take a look at them. The first one is that when you're that high up in a balcony garden, you don't have to worry about pests like chipmunk coming and getting into your things. This one right here has been digging around in my flower beds and in my containers. And so if you're that high up, you don't have to worry about anything like that. Over here we have, this is like one of those grasshopper bugs or thrips, they come around when you're lower down in your garden. but at that height, they typically can't get up there, so those shouldn't be a problem. So that is definitely a plus. Slugs and snails are another one again. They are typically, like down low in your garden, coming in at night and bothering your things. Won't be a problem there either. Next benefit is time. If you don't have a lot of time, it's a smaller space that you're working with. So, it's a perfect solution for someone who's extremely busy. You can still grow your own. The next one is to say that, so if you have a balcony garden, you will notice that what happens is either you're going to be in full sun, full shade, or part shade. You're going to figure it out very easily because it's typically just one side that's facing out, as opposed to a regular garden where you have part sun, part shade, full shade. And you have to kind of go in and figure out how your garden is working. But in this case, for the balcony gardens, it is so much easier. So it's one less thing that you have to, try to figure out with a balcony garden. And just to say that, I hope this encourages you to try. Whether you're going to be putting, flowers in, or you're going to be putting your fruits and veggies in, or just having them both go together. No matter how small the space is, you can put a little bit or a lot. You can use containers, you can use trellises, you can use stakes, you can use something as simple as a stepping stool, like what her son made for her right there, grow bags. But I'd say be sure to put like saucers under your plants to make sure that if someone is below you and you have a slotted floor, that it's not going to drip through and bother them, and then you have issues with your neighbor. So definitely bear those things in mind. Also, be sure when you're purchasing your flowers or if you're getting veggies, make sure that there's something that whether they can take full sun or part sun or shade. Because if you want to have success with your balcony garden, you really will need to know what it is that's going to work best for the plants. You can have lots of success. And so if you are growing anything on your balcony or you're considering it, I'd love for you to leave me a comment. We'd love to see your comments about the things that you are doing in your own garden. I hope that this gives you some information. It helps you in some way. And if there's someone you think it might help, be sure to share it along with them. We thank you so much for watching, and we certainly hope to see you in the next video. Take care.